How do you know when it's time for your parents to get a little bit of help or a lot of help to stay safe in their current environment and also just to have great quality of life? Well, if you're headed home for a visit, whether it's at the holidays or another time of the year, this can be a great opportunity to observe how things are going. Now, this isn't about spying on your parents. One of the things we want to say right up front is it's so important to always treat our parents as adults. There's a tendency as our parents age sometimes to want to treat them like our children. The truth is, though, we never parent our parents. We are always their children. However, we can be caring, concerned family members who want to make sure our parents have the best quality of life possible. One of the things you can do to start this process is simply to observe. Now, when you observe, you might want to take notes and you might want to think about safety as you're doing this, because safety is something you can never ignore and you have to deal with quickly. But many other things can be approached more slowly, more planfully, and with the assistance of other family members. Well, one of the things you can do is see what their appearance is like. Do they look like they normally look, or are you noticing that their clothes are dirty, or they perhaps have a smell like they haven't been showering as often? Now, this doesn't mean that your parents have cognitive issues. They could, but it may just be that their vision isn't very good and their sense of smell isn't what it used to be, or they're having trouble getting in and out of the shower or bathtub, and so they're not bathing as often. That's why we can't jump to conclusions as we observe things. But this is important to note because there is an issue going on if you notice their appearance has changed significantly. And while you're looking at things, you want to look at the appearance of the home. What's the living environment like? Is the refrigerator full of food that's gone bad? Are there a pile of bills that haven't been opened? Is it that you notice the house isn't very clean? The other thing you want to think about is their ability to move around the house. How are they doing with getting up and down out of chairs? Is that still easy for them? Are they able to walk comfortably without any assistance? Or is their gait really off and you can see they're really off balance? These are things worth noting because you don't want to have a fall situation in the future. How about their physical abilities in other ways? Do you see them able to do the tasks that they used to do? Are they having trouble around the house getting things done, like just cleaning the house or doing laundry? How about cooking? How are they doing with that? The other thing you want to take a look at is how they're functioning cognitively. Now, what this means is in conversation with them, do you notice that they're having trouble forming words or finishing sentences or following ideas? Are there things that they just naturally knew how to do that you're watching them struggle with? Could be something simple like the microwave and they can't remember how to turn it on. Or it could be something more complex like they can't follow driving directions. There's another one, driving. Are they safe driving? Or do you see concerns that need to be addressed there? Oftentimes, what happens when we're distant and we're talking on the phone to our parents is we miss some of these things because we just can't observe them. And oftentimes on the phone, our parents rise to the occasion and seem really good. But then when you get in person, you see it's not quite as good as you thought it might be. The other thing that you might want to notice is their mood. Do you notice them depressed or anxious? Is their behavior changed so that your very happy parent is now very angry and very edgy with you? Those are things that are worth noting. And some of those may be caused by cognitive issues. Others may be caused by loneliness and depression and hearing loss. Hearing is the sensory loss that causes the most issues in people's lives. It's linked to things like depression. It has links to changes in cognitive ability. It keeps people socially isolated. So how's their hearing? And that's pretty easy to test by just having a normal conversation. Are you having to shout to them? Are they asking you to repeat things all the time? And then I want you to think about how your parents seem in their environment, again, from a quality of life standpoint. Is it still working for them? Is this a good home for them? Or has the home really gotten to a point it's not serving them and they're busy trying to keep up with all the tasks that have to be done in the home? So there are other things you can observe, but this is a good starting point. And after you do this, you want to think about what your next step is. But I want to say that's not on this visit unless there are urgent safety issues. What you can do is you can wait and you can give some thought to this and you can think about how first you're going to talk to your parents And if it's helpful to bring your siblings into this, that's great. But make sure it doesn't feel like you're ganging up on your parents when you get to the point of a conversation. And when you talk to your siblings, this is why having notes are great because you can talk about it very factually. Sometimes what happens is one sibling sees things quicker than others, and when they share it with their siblings are maybe a little hesitant and maybe don't fully see it the same way. But when you actually have factual things and observations and notes, it makes it easier to have a conversation that isn't quite so emotional about all of this. So again, maybe you're going home at the holidays. It's a wonderful time to have an opportunity to observe your parents. You're not spying on your parents. You're observing as a caring, compassionate adult child. And then after the holidays, you're going to think about what the next steps are, which also could include consulting with a professional who can help sort out what some of the causes of these changes might be. I hope whatever you're going home for, I hope the visit is joyful and that you find your parents healthy and happy and functioning well in their home. And I hope you have many more visits just like that.